Spoon Anti-Assassins up against the Wyvern Dragons. The Wyvern Dragons in the luminous yellow and the Wooden Spoon Anti-Assassins in the mainly white, but with the hoops representing the four countries.
Well, the Dragons won all 3 games yesterday, whereas the Spoons won 2, drawn 1, so the Dragons certainly pressing to make this Open Cup final if they can play anything like they did yesterday afternoon. Already the Dragons trying to move the ball into space.
Too high the tackle. I knew Daryl Chapman, the referee, was going to call that, and true to his word, he's going to give him a card as well. Ralph Wellock, the Wharfdale player, the man going to the bin for 2 minutes. High tackle, went in, started over the top of the shoulders, and he's not going to get away with that. Jason Howells driving it up for the Wyvern Dragons. 10 against 9, remember. Well, he's just fumbled it forward, and possession turnover to the Wooden Spoon Anti-Assassins. They're going backwards at the moment. Obstruction, says the referee. Blocking a man out as he tried to make the tackle off the ball.
Well, a bit criminal from the Anti-Assassins on their own line.
Not a good move. Well, was that tackle late? Is he calling him? No. Referee wants a word. Having a hard word with Greg Nichols, who's the captain. Just putting them in they won't get any change out of Daryl Chapman, that's for sure. So, 1, it's not a good idea to argue, and 2, keep your tackles down. Almost in. Number 15, Robbie Davison, just brought down inches short and holding on as they tried to resurrect that, and the Anti-Assassins off the hook.
Well, an opportunity to clear their lines. Connor Wilkinson going to put boot to ball here. Saw how influential he was in the Anti-Assassins fixtures yesterday. If they're going to come through this semi-final, I'm sure he'll be integral to their game.
Well, they've survived being with 9 men for almost the 2-minute period without conceding. And they've got possession. Ooh, that was a hard call by the referee. It was just offline, and he's called it and given the scrum to the Wyvern Dragons. Went out of the tunnel again, so it'll have to be reset. they cannot bring their man back on in a scrum sequence, but next time the ball goes dead, the 2 minutes will be up and they'll be back to a full contingent. Big push from the anti-assassins, but pushing up, says Daryl Chapman. Illegal scrummaging. And again, he's calling up the skipper. That's for talking, I'm absolutely sure. They're complaining. And Greg Nichols being again left in no doubt as to what the referee wants, and he won't win a battle of words, that's for sure, with Daryl Chapman, so better do as they're told.
Lofty pass over the top, finding its mark. Paddy Goggin trying to cut through the middle into the high tackle. Still moving the ball now on the opposite flank. Well, Daryl Chapman not happy here.
And again, Nichols appealing. This is where it's going to be, the cut back here. Oh, and he goes in high, almost a swinging arm. Ridiculous tackle. Well, the kick tried to get it away, and he was always under enormous pressure, running the wrong way and trying to get a kick back towards this touch. Didn't work. And it's Wyvern Dragons who now get the first score.
That fell straight into the hands of Cliff Street. Won't have an easier try all weekend, will he? And that's what happens when you go down to 9 men. You lose somebody for foul play, and it makes it a lot easier for the opposition. Conversion wasn't successful. Well taken from the restart. The anti-assassins need some possession. Currently pinned back in their own half. Get the offload away. Bit of pace on the ball now. Still going through Hedgley. Hedgley trundling down the pitch. Baldwin now picking and going himself. Struggling to get the ball away at the bottom of the ruck. Hedgley again whipping that one back. The kick's gone through. Being chased down by Weir. Weir's collected. Great pickup and a great pass inside. And it's found Will Topham. Well, what a response from the anti-assassins. A really fine score. Just as we're approaching the end of this first half, the conversion successful through Davidson. Look at that great pass back inside from Jack Weir. Playing hot potato at the moment, anti-assassins. They've finally got control of the ball from the restart. pace on the attack through Davidson.
Well, it's very, very scruffy and scrappy at the moment, but the referee happy until then. There were no knock-ons at all, but he's said, right, that was a fumble, and it'll be a scrum down to the Wyvern Dragons. And we've got the Wooden Spoon Anti-Assassins at last back to full strength, and they weathered that period when they were down to 9 men effectively twice really well, and have come out of it actually with a 2-point lead. Good tackle, in touch.
Well, that's half-time in this Men's Open Cup semi-final. Wyvern Dragons 5, Wooden Spoon Anti-Assassins 7.
So, despite all the trials that the Wooden Spoon Anti-Assassins had to suffer, they go into the second half leading 7 points to 5, and the Wyvern Dragons have got it all to do. Almost a fumble, but Hedgley just managing to drag the ball in, but then hanging on the floor, quickly taken by Cliff Street for the Dragons, and Street goes in.
Well, that's his second try of the game, taken very well. Excellent start to the second half of the Wyvern Dragons, and exactly what they need in this Open Cup semi-final if they want to try and retain the title they won in 2017. Successful conversion, Corowea.
Yeah, takes off himself. Poor attempt at the tackle, and just the start they needed, as you said, Scott. You feel just so much better if you've got your nose in front, and I'm sure the confidence will come through in their play now. And the response from the other side, well, they'll want to immediately hit back. Safely gathered by Will Topham. That was a better clear out. The wide pass that time really working well. So often it doesn't. Eventually, Willock brought down. Rupert Javiers did well to get back. But the referee not liking what he did. Penalised in the tackle area, and now a chance, a good chance for the Anti-Assassins.
Well, we saw they're trying the first half, carved almost length of the pitch, and a great attacking opportunity here from the line out.
Turned it into a maul at the moment. Right, now they get it back. The chip and go. Number 13, Connor Wilkinson. Penalty though, back for a penalty. He's going to put it into the corner. Now they got a couple of these big men. They do like the direct route. So I'm guessing it'll be a catch and drive again. So it is, they're over the line now, get it down, that's the try, no question. So, level again.
Well, pretty simple score, but a difficult conversion for Robbie Davidson. And he's absolutely slotted it, so a fantastic attempt. And the Anti-Assassins have now gone into the lead. Great driving maul from the line out. Dragons didn't really have anything in defence there to stop them.
No, they got the slots dead right, did the Anti-Assassins. The Anti-Assassins, of course, sponsored by the Wooden Spoon, the rugby charity, reportedly formed when a group of England supporters, too used to getting the Wooden Spoon at that time in England's history, were delayed in Dublin airport, having lost again in Dublin, and said, right, we better do something for rugby, and formed this charity, the Wooden Spoon, which has now become very active and raises a lot of funds for disabled youngsters. And the referee again wants a word. He's calling up George Hedgley. Oh, and he's shown him a red card. Hedgley. A red card to George Hedgley, so for the Anti-Assassins now down to 9 for the rest of this match.
Well, they're into the final quarter and they're going to be having to make up for that red card if they're going to try and hold on to this lead. A chance in the Men's Open Cup final at stake here.
Oh, and they've got a penalty there at the breakdown. That's exactly what they want. They'll put it into the corner if they can. And I think they'll certainly feel their best chance of surviving this now. They've got this narrow 2-point lead, is to hold on to it and defend mightily. I can't see them making any inroads in 9 men if they've got to score again. So they'll be trying desperately to hang on to their lead.
The Dragons now trying to make a break from deep inside their own half. They have numbers over the far touchline if they can move the ball into that area. Cutting back inside through Street. Still going now. Great chip, let's watch the bounce. Well collected by Davidson, but he's ushered into touch, so the Dragons looking to make this extra man count in the final stages.
Well, they've got the territorial position that they want to launch a big attack, and still arguments going on from the anti-assassins. Nichols, and he's asked referee and touch judge are consulting. I think he might be questioning the red card that was given. I think they might feel that there was a bit of a misunderstanding. I think he gave the red card for 2 yellows, and what he's saying is that it was mistaken identity. He thought he'd sent the same player to the bin twice, and in fact they were different players.
Well, the Dragons now moving the ball. Strange
attempt.
That's
a gift.
Strange attempt at a catch there, but the anti-assassins now putting some weight behind that maul. The ball's gone to ground, and I think it's been turned over by the Dragons, chasing the game. Cutting back inside, just managing to get an offload out of the tackle. Trying to put some width in the ball, but the hot anti-assassin defence making that slightly more difficult.
Bit of pace there.
Goggins still going, cutting back inside, looking for some support. That's been stolen.
A little nudge forward, is the referee saying. And the anti-assassins will be very, very aware that they've only got to hold out for a few more seconds. They'll feel a lot more confident of doing that because they've got a 10-man side back on the field. The full contingent on there makes such a difference. In 10s, there's a lot of space on a rugby pitch, and they'll find it much more likely that they can defend it. And they now know they've only got to hold out for a short while, and they'll be through to the final of the Cup.
And both of these two sides very evenly matched. The scoreline showing just that, but an opportunity at the death for the Wyvern Dragons. We're going to have a reset scrum. Penalty to the Dragons. Looking for a gap in this anti-assassin defence. Trying to use the width. Goggin muscling his way for a small gap. Back into contact through Korawaya. the moment the Assassin defence resilient, but can they get the last pass away and it's going to go in? Or is he?
No, they touch judge raising his flag. There was a foot in touch before he got it down.
Well, can you believe it? Just at the death, we thought they were going to go in for a final score. The Wyvern Dragons and Harvey Oils just needed to dive over the line, but went in too upright and couldn't get the ball down before he was ushered into touch.
You're absolutely right, Scott. That try was there for the taking. Had to take one for the team there, even if he didn't fancy a dive. Didn't do it, paid the penalty, and that proves to be a huge penalty, because it is the Anti-Assassins who win out 14 points to 12, and they go through to the final.